All right, and looks like we are live, which is really great because we've been waiting all day for something, and you didn't even know you were waiting for this, but here we are. We're live streaming, we're here, and I have a new toy that's still in the box, which is good because I think a lot of people like to enjoy the unboxing experience. There's a tangibility to it, as well as just the excitement of new gear. And so you know, the Godox SL100 Bi-Color light is actually one of their new offerings, and I think it was postponed a little bit because of some of the sick little bug that's in the world right now has sort of delayed a lot of people as far as inventory. So this is one of those things where, we're always happy when everything works. When things slow down, maybe we kind of freak out a little bit. So anyways, I got this I ordered it on Adorama.com, which is, they're always getting stuff before Amazon. So I do like to buy stuff from them just because they're the same cost and you get free shipping, and they just always give me good products. They never give me beat up boxes. They never give me any of that stuff. Not sponsored, but if you want to check out Adorama, they actually have them in stock still, as to where Amazon still doesn't have them in stock. So there's links down in the description if you want to check out this light or the SL60W, which is what I'm using right now to light this video. It's kind of the SL60 is like a staple for affordable filmmaking lights. And now I think the SL100 Bi-Color is going to be a staple as well, because it's really, really affordable for what it can do, the power it can offer, the color accuracy that it gives. And so, yeah, it's really great. So, hey, Peyton, I see that you're in the chat. What's up, man? So you actually may be interested in this light yourself. Maybe you can borrow it from me sometime if you want. But check this out. So let's go through some of the specs, because there's some really great things that this light has to offer, and like you can get it for $230 right now, which I'm sure the price will drop at some point to probably $199, but it's brand new, so $229, pretty fair price for an excellent light with these features. So it's 100 watts of output. Obviously, it's in the name. We get that. It also has 32 channels, so I think that's for the remote, or I think there's an app as well that you can use to control this light, and you can even have a series of changes if you have that in your scene, where you can kind of set like it to dim or change colors. There's even effects built in, which is really cool. I think there's 11 effects. So that's probably things like paparazzi mode and lightning, candle flicker, stuff like that. Your typical like effects that you'd see on a little RGB pocket light or something like this. So nothing too crazy there, but definitely practical effects and not just like crazy things. One thing that's helpful to know is that this light can, since it's bicolor, that means it has sort of that warm color of light as well as the more cooler white daylight sort of balance. And it can go all the way down to the warm side of 2800 Kelvin, which is really, really orange, and all the way up to 5600, which is actually more blue than daylight, which is like white. So 5600 is what the SL60W is balanced at, which is generally like high noon, midday color temperature. So it can kind of even go colder if for some reason you're in a snowy environment or you just want to go colder. You can. Okay, here is one of the things that made me decide to buy this light. As I'm scrolling through the spec sheet, there's companies like Aperture who, for their 120D, their 300D Mark II, all that stuff, they're great lights. They're really expensive, and they're expensive because they're great lights, so that's good. But we've kind of been waiting for companies like Godox to create competition lights that maybe miss one thing, whether it's in build quality or it's in, color accuracy or whatever, to make that price a little bit cheaper so that it's more accessible to a lot of people, which I think most of you, if you're watching this video either now or after the fact, is probably you're probably interested in this. I'm seeing Jaren. Does it have a police light setting? It does not have a police light setting because, well, I can't say that because I haven't checked yet, but it doesn't have RGB, so it would never look like a police light, but I'm sure you could like use it as a spotlight like police use that. So maybe you could still use it in a filmmaking scenario where the police are shining the flashlight in someone's face, or that spotlight that's on their driver's windshield that they kind of blast you in the face with. Definitely there. So, but no, unfortunately you can't arrest people with this light because they'll just be like, what are you doing? You're shining a really big flashlight in my face, you weirdo. So anyways, don't think this is going to get picked up by the police department. So, okay, last thing that I think this is, here it is. There we go. The last thing I wanted to say about this light, as far as the spec sheet is concerned, is it has an app, which is really nice because on the SL60 and some of the previous offerings from Godox and these, Bowens mount video lights, they had these remotes with AAA batteries that they're fine, but not really helpful. Like, the only reason they were ever helpful is if you were too short when you had your light boosted up on a light stand, you could turn it off. But it's like, if you're turning it off, you're probably unplugging it and packing it up. So it wasn't necessarily that helpful, especially when it wasn't a bicolor light. The SL60 just stays at 5600. So you can't even change the temperature of the color, which is interesting. So anyway, I think I've dragged on long enough with looking through specs. Let people get here. If you have any questions, actually, I forgot one thing. So the CRI on this is 96, which out of 100 is pretty good. And usually if you can get above that like 94 CRI, you have a pretty color accurate light. So when it says 5600, it's actually 5600. It's not 100 off or 50 off of the temperature that you actually think it is. So when you change that white balance in your camera, it's actually the right white balance to the color of the light that you're like saying it's giving. When you get below like 93, and definitely if you get into the 80s, you're going to notice shifts to the magenta side or green side usually. As lights age, these LED lights age, they do suffer from a little bit of shifting. And so generally I've found with like the SL60, it shifts a little bit magenta. It's not a big deal. You can always fix it in post. You can even fix it in camera if you really want to mess with the color dial settings, which I never do. I'd rather just take a tiny little fader in post and just adjust it. So yeah, anyway, having a CRI of 96 is really, really good. And I think I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. If you have any questions while we're opening this, throw them in the chat and I'll get to them when I can. So let's jump in here. And, so CRI, Peyton, is, I mean, because, yeah. But it's basically just color accuracy. So it's the color rating index or something like that. I can't remember what CRI actually stands for, but essentially it just means that when you say it's a color, it's actually that color. So simple as that. All right, kids, let's open the present. So I don't know if you guys want this like ASMR style or if you just want me to open it. Let me know right now. You get 20 seconds or less to tell me if you want ASMR style or if you want me to just open it and stop being weird. But I'm always willing to be just a little bit strange because it keeps things interesting, All right. Give me that vote. ASMR or nah. Come on. You got this. What flavor is that? We should check. We'll definitely have to check the flavor, no doubt. Oh, I've got a couple votes for ASMR. All right. Well, let's try. Let me flip this mic over here. Okay, so I clearly have my microphone tilted not at me, so I'm not going to talk too much while we open this, but let's make this quick and enjoyable. Here goes. This is gonna be the worst part. The styrofoam. Or maybe the best part. It's hard to say. Pamphlet. Yes, please. Okay, ASMR is now over. Holy baby Moses, sweet, precious Lord Jesus. Oh, man, you got to see this before I just take it out of the box. Like, come on. Look at that. Is that just not just, So great. All right, so in the box, we have our light spill container thing, which has the bone mount lock. Ooh, that's a gross sound. Listen to that. Ugh, I'm very sorry you had to hear that. But anyway, you get that. You get the light itself, which has a much nicer lock on the hinge, which is good. A nice little cap, which we can take off, revealing the light, which, ooh, it's got a nice little plastic protector over that. Let me move this back here. Which is kind of nice because before the chip LED in the other lights was just exposed, and so a lot of people would break them with the metal on the like soft boxes and stuff like that. You just end up accidentally bumping into it, and then you ruin your light, which kind of sucks. So really like to see that. Ooh, this is nice. Yes, please. All right, let's see. We got some interesting chat going on here. Peyton is drooling, which is acceptable. And okay, quality test passed. I love to see that they do check for quality, which is nice. Ooh, and the controls here. Oh, sorry. Let's keep going in the box. Getting ahead of myself. Obviously, the important part came out. And we get a power cable, which it actually looks like a pretty long one. It's just a normal IEC, which you probably have 100 of these and you'll get 100 more, but they're really helpful and I like that they're uniform. And then they do a really nice thing, which kudos Godox or Godox, however you want to say it. I like Godox because it just sounds cooler, but I think it's Godox, but we'll be flippant with it because, or flippant, however that word's said. In the chat, drop a little whoop whoop or some kind of something for these little cable ties because Lord knows we love organization because disorganized world means no world. So got the cable. I've already got one plugged in because I didn't want to mess with it. And let's take a look. Ooh, first, I'm going to give you actually a look as I plug this in to the back of the light here. So let's check this out. Holy sweet baby Jesus, that is really bright. But yeah. Ooh, these knobs feel good. And I can actually, oh, that's great. So I can actually go to 1%. As to where the SL60, you can't go below 10%. It's like, why even call it 10% if it's actually the lowest setting? Like, it's 1%. If 10% is as low as I can go, that's 1%. Like, fix your gradient, you know? So they did that here, which is really, really, really nice. You can go all the way down, and it looks like it's very accurate. You go all the way down to 0%, all the way up to 100. Definitely kicks off a little bit of light, obviously, but heat is what I was trying to say. And I like that, which is good. It's got grouping and channels and effects. I think, okay. Effect 1, just blinking. Oh, that's good. Effect 2, different blinking. Effect 3, another different blinking. Effect 4, I think that's lightning. Ooh, spooky. Definitely lightning. Effect 5, different lightning. Effect 6, strobe something? I don't know. Effect 7, ooh. That's like probably that TV watching one where it kind of just looks like television. What's good? Oh yeah, this is great. What's great about the effects on this is a lot of times the effects you don't have control of like what their max light output is, but it looks like this one if you control the dimmer, you actually do get control of the effects. I don't know what that was. No, I do not like that. It's like weird strobe. Ooh, now we've got an orange color. Nice. And this one is, I don't know, doing something. Anyway, we'll turn the effects off. I want to get into the app a little bit and try to pair it really quick. So I think the app is pretty easy. It's just called Godox Photo, and they really love the color orange. I'm just going to say that. Like, orange is fine, but they really like orange. So this app is black and orange, so it feels a little spooky, but it's fine. So let's do Bluetooth. I would imagine all I do is push and hold the Bluetooth button. It's blinking. Now it's searching. Standard operation stuff here. Come on. No? Okay, still blinking. This is why they make manuals. Come on. Of course, after I get done saying standard operation, it's like, I'm not getting it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put this light on here. Woo! That was satisfying. Dim that down to 0%. Put that on the desk. And hold on, I think I threw that manual somewhere. Where you go? Come on. Under me. Underwear. Dang it. You made me say underwear. Under my chair. Okay, let's check out the Bluetooth thing here. This would be a great time to call tech support on Livestream. That would actually potentially be a good thing because people do often curious if their tech support is any good. That was not a sentence, but you know what I meant. You know, you got it. It made sense because of context clues. Come on. Oh, here we go. Scan the QR code to download the app. Okay. Yeah, I was doing everything right. Apparently I just... Wait. Do I have the right app? That would be embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't have the right app downloaded, so... It's called Godox Lite, not Godox Photo, so... Embarrassing. Just embarrassing. Ooh, that looks nice. Go to the App Store, type in Godox Lite, and download the app for no reason right now. It's worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay. No wonder it wasn't pairing. Yes, allow Bluetooth. Okay. Push Bluetooth. Add light. Ooh, you can name studios. What should I name my studio? I need some options in the chat. It says I need a studio name. I'm gonna need some chat options here. We've got Nick, we've got Peyton, we've got Jaren. Welcome everybody. Tech support has now joined us. No, I was kidding. And yeah, let's see. Come on, y'all. You got this. My studio, I think since this room is kind of like a hiding hole, I'm going to call it Ashes. You know what's happening. Ash apostrophe S hole. My hole. As in my office. Okay. So add light. Ooh, and it's just sitting there waiting for me to pick it. Dink. Excellent. Select, confirm. Good. So one of the things I want to check about this light is some of the build quality on it too, because build quality is really important. Ash Chat Studios, nice. Kick Ash Studio. I don't know. Am I botching that? Boodio. Well, I named it Ash's Hole, so you guys are better than me because I named it something way weirder. But it's fine. It's fine. Just roll with it. Okay, let's try this app out, and then we'll look at build quality, and then I'll take any questions remaining, my friends. Oh, so I can power it on and off, which is kind of nice. Looks like I can go in, and I can change the color temperature. That is really nice. And is that working? Is there a magenta shift on that? Ooh. So it looks like, I'm going to show you the app here, but basically here in a second, I'll show you the app, but you have brightness slider, which is really cool. You also have your temperature slider and then your tint slider with magenta and green. And I'll just show you that here. So that's pretty nice because as lights and LED lights age, what you run into is the tone shifting, especially on the magenta and the green hue. And sometimes even if you're getting a lot of bounce off of like lots of leafy trees outside of a window or something, you can counteract it with a little bit of the opposite color. So if you're getting a lot of green tint coming in through the window, you can go ahead and push over to the magenta, and then you can still have the room look like it is. Or you can actually push over to the green a little bit, and then when you grade in post-production in your video, you can actually bring the whole room and all of the light back to that normal white color rather than the shifted to the green. So that's a really, really great feature. I like that a lot. That's nice. Oh, and there's even an option to type in your exact number so you're not guessing with the slider. That's really good too. There's scenes, you can set up devices, you can set up all kinds of stuff. I love that you can turn it on and off. You can select groups. If you had like a ton of these, you could group them. You could create different effects and stuff. Okay, that's actually great. That is notably better than having a plastic remote that you'll probably lose, and so many more features. So I really like that. That's super great. But let's look at build quality a little bit. I'm going to turn this off. The switch feels good. The knobs have a nice grip to them, and they have like a click, 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 but they're quiet. Like you can feel the tangible like click. Here, let's see if you can hear it. That was obviously quick, but it feels good in your fingertips. The knobs don't push as buttons for selection for anything, which I actually like because I've noticed that a lot of times when you have like a button that's also a knob, it's more likely to fail at some point, which is never really a good thing. One thing I'm curious about, which we're going to check right now, is this handle. On a lot of the Godox or Godox, whatever you want to say, the Godox lights, this handle breaks. And they've got a nice little logo on here showing you which way's tight, which way's loose, in case you forget. There's also a little like pole that you can stick through there if you have an umbrella with just the little stem. or you can mount it with the normal light stand end as well and tighten it down, which is good. Yeah, all these pieces feel much better. Ooh. Okay. It's got grippier gears, which I think is actually probably a good thing. Yeah, I mean, that still feels like I could break it if I wanted to, but like it's not metal or aluminum or anything. It's definitely plastic. So it's not great, but it's not terrible. And for the price, like I don't expect it to be like titanium, you know? And all right, anybody who has any questions, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. I know this has kind of been just me rambling and enjoying this light as I unpack it. Definitely stoked to use it. But if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. And also maybe even investigate them myself. Yeah, everything looks really good. Like all the threads look really clean on anything that twists and tightens. When it was on and it was all the way up at 100%, usually you get a lot of fan noise. And so I've actually used the Aperture Amaran lights, at least, the 100 something Bi-Color, I think it was. Yeah, the 100 Bi-Color one, from Aperture, the Amaran series. And it would get incredibly hot in like 30 seconds to a minute, which is not ideal because if you're adjusting a light and it's already that hot, like you can't even set it up with it on because it's really super high. You have to be really careful with it. This one, I'm not noticing that at all, and it's actually kind of warm in this room. I don't know why I'm wearing a hoodie because I'm a psychopath, so that's probably why. Not really, but you know. And the other thing about the Amaran series, which I kind of experienced this, was that it had this really, really high pitch noise that only some people can hear. It's sort of that like, if you're old enough to remember this, like there was a text tone that was basically like the mosquito tone, but essentially it's the frequency high enough to where older aged ears can't hear it, but younger ears can. And it's sort of like a dog whistle. We used to use it to text in class because our teachers couldn't hear it, but pretty savvy. Obviously now you can just text in class because phones are probably fine, but phones were new then. Get over it. Anyway, I'm sounding old. What I'm trying to say is not that cell phones are important, was that the Amaran lights had this like whiny noise that sometimes microphones would even pick up, and that's really bad. That's super, super bad. I'm not noticing it here. This one has just like a really soft, really soft fan. Like my computer sounds louder right now, but like, let's see if you can hear this. I've got this on 100%. So that's a lot of light. But let's see if you can, this is kind of what the fan sounds like. Yeah, so that, I don't hear any frequencies with that. And it's just really, it sounds quieter than like a good air conditioning system. Like it's very, very quiet at 100%. So I'll have to leave it on and do some tests with it. I think I'm going to do a full video reviewing this light and just like maybe breaking it down in like 2 minutes or something. So if you'd like to see that, or you think other people would benefit from that, let me know. I think that'd probably be a good idea. Because this light might just take over what the SL60 has been. And so let me just turn that off. Unplug it here. Set that back up. And yeah, let's take a look to the chat here. You got any questions? How does it compare to the light that you already have? Well, so I have a couple different lights as far as like big source key light options. First of all, the main difference is going to be the amount of light I can get out of this. And then the other main difference is the fact that it's bicolor. The light that I currently have is 5600 Kelvin, so that's what it is. So if you're gonna change the color of it, you have to use diffusion gels, which usually anytime I've had to do that with this SL60, it's already kind of the dimmest light that they make. It's still really bright, but it's kind of dim. More diffusion will always take away the amount of intensity or brightness. So just having a light, I'm trying to talk through a burp, which is super gross. Okay. So the intensity of a light is, it's just important because you don't want to have to like add more light. That's the point of your light, is that it can add light. So if you max it out to 100% and you still need more, that's a problem because you can't get more. So having brighter output and having the bicolor is actually kind of the same point as far as like brightness and intensity is concerned. Because if you do need to shift down to a warmer color or even a cooler color, you can do that without losing any of your brightness capacity, which is really good. The other thing that I would say it compares to the light that I already have is the app. I'll actually use that. The remote, I'm not even sure if I have it because I used it a couple times and it was like, why use this? Like, why? So having an app, I think, is kind of the way that most of these products are going to go from now on. Is like everyone has a phone. Everyone has their phone with them all the time. It's something you don't forget to pack onto a film set. And I think the more that we have our phones on film sets, the more important it will be to have battery banks and stuff like that, because essentially all your gear will not be very customizable if you don't have your phone. So phone battery life is going to definitely be important to lots and lots of people. It's also going to be important just to have a battery bank because batteries can't be forever at this point in time anyway. Maybe at some point our phones will be solar powered and we'll be off to the races and no one will care. And yeah, let's see. Do I want to break it? Yes. I don't want to break it. I don't want to break it at all. All right. Anybody got questions up here in the chat? Did I miss anything? Police lights. Yep. Covered that. What flavor? LaCroix. Sorry. I'm so smart. This is the cherry limeade flavored LaCroix, in case you were curious. It's really good. It's also the reason I was talking through burps like a weird old person. All right, kids. Well, this has been an unboxing of the SL100 Bi-Color light from Godox, whatever your cup of tea is. Have a sip. And as always, I got to say it. Stay creative. I'll see you later.